Hey guys, Prince of Macedon here. I'm going to show you a replay that I fought, and I'll be commanding the Dwarfs. My opponent's name is Eephoo, commanding the Vampire Counts. You can see he has a Vampire Lord, just a regular one, zombies, and giant monsters for his army. I brought a bunch of these Dwarf Warriors, a bunch of Quarrelers who are crossbowmen, and my commander is a regular Dwarf Lord. And I also have 2 units of Longbeards. And instead of bringing artillery, I brought these gyrocopters. These guys. These are the ones armed with the brimstone gun. Alright, so my opponent, he's got a bunch of flying monsters. These are Fellbats. He's got some Fargeists. He's got a Terrorgeist back here. Giant thing. His commander is fighting on foot. That is just a regular Vampire Count Lord. And then here he has the Hex Race, 2 of them. And 3 groupings of Crypt Horrors. And then these guys are fodder units. These are just zombies. And they are not going to last very long in a fight against my Dwarf Warriors, which I have a lot of. But it's really the giant monsters that I have to worry about, and these Hex Race. Alright, so you can see, I got my crossbows just gunning down these zombies. But when I see his Fellbats, Fargulfs, and Terrorgeist coming this way, I'm going to start swinging my crossbows, my Quarrelers, to face his incoming troops. Now, he went right for my gyrocopters, and what I want to do, I don't want to start this fight, well, it's already started, but I don't want to start this fight until I'm closer to my crossbows. So I'm going to pull back closer to my troops here. I kind of underestimated the speed of his Fellbats, so I took some damage. But as I get closer to my lines, you can see my Quarrelers are going to start picking these Fellbats apart. Granted, it's really chaotic though, dealing with all these guys. But my Dwarf Warrior line is going to destroy these zombies. These zombies really had no chance against my Dwarf Warriors. So you can see my gyrocopters are finally holding their own against these flying monsters. And he's going to start pulling back some of his flying beasts, like these Fargeists. But yeah, lots of mayhem on the ground as well, because he was getting his Crypt Horrors into my line of Quarrelers, trying to silence them. But it was a cool approach that my opponent took. You know, it's combined arms by air, by land. Not by sea though. But he's gonna land on my troops again. He's definitely going for my crossbows at this point. He's trying to silence them. And you see my gyrocopters are having a bit more freedom now. They're not being harassed. But actually, despite that initial damage, they didn't really take that much damage from his Vampire Counts. Now his Vampire Lord is casting something on my troops here. Not really sure what. Still has a few more Fellbats, as you can see. And I do have some troops routing. Now, this Terrorgeist is right here, going for my crossbows, as you can see. And I'm trying to get my Lord over there. We are very relentless. So if you look at the tactical overhead, you can see my troops are starting to wrap around him. I am the yellow ones on this overhead. So that's what it looks like. So here we are popping these the Fellbats, and now we're dealing with these Fargeists. And they are going down slowly but surely. The combination of ground-to-air fire and also air-to-air fire is bringing these guys down. As you can see, they're getting popped hardcore. But it is really complicated for my firing system to deal with all these flying units and ground units at the same time. You know, it's kind of hard to pick, my priorities for who I should be shooting at. Alright, so on the ground here, I got my commander dealing with his Hex Race. There's my generic Dwarf Lord. He's getting bashed in by these crypt horrors here. But what I want to do is try to get rid of these hex rays. And sorry I can't talk. It's like 4 in the morning right now. Whack. Alright, so these Fargulfs... Sorry, Far Guys, sorry. Are going down. Look at that. Boom! So, I have achieved air superiority. Now my gyrocopters are free to make some bombing runs here. Now, it was hard to do my bombing runs because I was doing other things at the same time. And these guys came back from routing. This unit of gyrocopters here. That or they were chasing a unit after. I think they came back from routing though. But yeah, as I said, you know, the threat wasn't a zombies. The zombies were there just to add bulk to his army. But it's these giant monsters that I was really worried about. The Terrorgeist, the Crypt Horrors, and the Hex Race, and earlier his Fargeist. Sorry if I called the Fargeist Fargulfs earlier. More bombing runs. And again, I was doing other things, so not all my bombs were connecting. There I killed some zombies. I probably hit some of my own troops there in that run. But I was so eager to, you know, to make use of my bombs. So yeah, actually, for an extended period of time, the balance bar was against me. But as you can see, my numbers are starting to tell. Freaking giant monsters. I think it is a cool test of my Dwarf Warriors, though. I wasn't sure if they could handle all these giant monsters from the vampire counts. Granted, a lot of this is being saved by my gyrocopters too, because now my gyrocopters have no, they have like no contest. Oh, actually, they do have some contest in the air. These terror guys, but the terror guys have been fighting on the ground for like the longest time now. But all of his Fargeists and Felbats, they're all brought down. And the fact is, he's not taking off with his Terrorgeist anymore, so I pretty much have uncontested air superiority at this point. I mean, he could have easily taken off and taken on my gyrocopters. But then with all my Quarrelers around and all my gyrocopters around, I'm pretty sure I would have just shot his Terrorgeist down. So it might have been an intentional thing for him to leave his Terrorgeist on the ground. Alright, so here's the cool thing. His Vampire Count Lord versus my Dwarf Lord. I think I was still chasing his Terrorgeist though. Because otherwise I would have totally turned around. At some point I do. Yeah, here we go. This is where I turn him around. Yeah, there you go. I love matching, you know, my Lord against enemy's Lord. Generally speaking. So look what's happening here. It's just his Terrorgeist and his Lord now. And there's like 15 seconds left in this battle. And then we just brought down his Vampire Lord. And now, I'm just gonna gun at his Terrorgeist. And his Terrorgeist dies. So there, the battle actually ended after I killed all of his troops. Go look at the damage here. So not a single surviving vampire count. These guys all went down in flames. So yeah, my gyrocopters actually played a very significant part in this fight. Look at all those kills they got. And those are very meaningful kills. A lot of those were giant monsters. And probably a lot of ground troops as well, I'm assuming. And my Dwarf Warriors acquitted themselves really well here too, except for a few of them. And my Quarrelers did pretty good damage, I think, for being missile units. On his side, these Crypt Horrors did a lot of damage. Look at that. 86, 79, 43. They killed a lot of my dwarfs. And same with these Hex Race. But yeah, as I said, the zombies did pretty much nothing. Like, they were just there as, you know, just to participate and get a free t-shirt afterwards. Anyways, good game to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed this dwarf battle, and I hope you like this army composition. I think it's pretty effective, at least for this matchup. All right, guys, I'll see you guys later. Good game to my opponent.